Hello, Mr. Omidi.
Hello, Mr. Khodabash, and hello to all your followers who are watching us live right now.
Thank you for your kind words. I'm really sorry about the delay. We've got some technical issues. I hope you and the followers forgive me about this. That won't happen again, I promise.
It's okay, no problem at all.
Sorry. So we're going to start our second part of live conversation about um, the grassroots range and the indicators in this level. We've discussed about some points in the last session, and we're going to say a summary of them and then deal with the other points that had been left from last session. Are you okay to start right now,
Yeah,
Mr.
let's go. Let's start, Mr. Khodabash. Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm gonna refer to some main points that we have been discussed about the way how academies elect players. Is it just about age or other age indicators are involved in? This is the first question.
Yeah, so we have to have first definition of the soccer academy. What is the soccer academy? Soccer academy where the young players learn the skill about the football to become a football player in the future. So they are divided to three parts. One of them is like for foundation, is under 12, 9 to 12. One they call it youth, between 12 to 16 years old, and professional up to 16 years old. So as we say before, less than 1% of under 9, when they join the grassroots or soccer academy, they'll become a football player in the near professional football player in the future. So, and the main aims of the soccer academy, what is the aim of the soccer academy? Is aimed at all the soccer academy to improve player by developing them technically, tactically, physically, and psychologically. That's the aim. So we have to focus on the aim of the soccer academy, and we go step by step. We're gonna speak about the soccer academy.
You've spoken about developing the players. Now, I'm going to ask you part by part. First part, the technical aspects of players. How are the clubs dealing with improving the players' technical aspect?
Yeah, technical. So as we said, we got under 12, under 16, and over 16. So there is a 4 corners in each training session, which is the technique, physic, social, and psychological. And some of the coaches, they add the tactics. So when they are young, the more
pardon me, the tactical part. Sorry.
So there is a 4 corner. Each training session must cover that 4 corner: technique, physic, social, and psychological. So when they are under 12, so most thing we have to work with them about just moving the ball, kicking the ball, all about the kicking the ball. Most of training session must cover the ball mastery. So when they grow up, and they gradually we start working with them technique, and then it's come tactic and the physic, and at the end when they pass the 16 years old, we're gonna work on the psychological.
Mr. Omidi, you said that some coaches do tactical trains. Is it optional? You said some coaches, or what?
Let me tell you one thing. So why most of the people love the football? Because the football, each coach, they got their own philosophy. You can't find 2 coaches exactly same. So we have 2 kinds of coaches. One coaches who care about the players, one coach who care about his CV, his resume, his future. And So we have to be, if we work with the kids, so we have to think about the kids, young players' future. So we are there because of them, because of the young player. So we have to pay attention on them. So they are not there for us, we are there for them. So that is a very important, and we have to divide it. I know many coaches, they complicate it. The coaches, when they working with the soccer academy, that's absolutely different with a professional or adult. So we have to divide these two. When you're talking about tactical, so you have to just concentrate about the young players, is not adult. That's absolutely different. So as we said, before 12 years old, 9 to 12, all about fun, all about enjoyment. Enjoyment is not about getting the result. So we have to let them just have a fun and enjoy the game. And gradually we start with them about the technique. So the most thing in the football, two main thing, content, I'm gonna say. So one with and one without. What I mean? With the ball and without the ball. So we have to work with them with the ball and without the ball. So if we said with the ball, so what we're gonna do as a coach to teach them with the ball. So, and then we have to remember that the scouters who gonna choose the talenter, what they're looking for. So as we know that the scouters, they choose the talent player when they are 13, before 14. It's not when they pass the 15, that is not gonna choose the talent players. So the main thing, the football, all about the kicking the ball. That age, and then the foundation age, when I'm saying, all about kicking the ball and keeping position. So it's not about the tactical. When they pass the 12 years old, we're gonna work with them with the tactical, the game situation, tactical awareness, all this kind of stuff.
So, except the age under 12 years old, and what is the main focus of trainings on? Is it on physical, tactical, technical, or psychological?
As I said, there is a four corner. If you're the coach, design the training plan session, they have to cover this four corner. Technically,
it's up to coach.
Sorry?
It's up to coach.
It's not up to coach. The coach must cover these four corners in the football. So as I said, when they are under 12, so we have to work with them technically, the basic technique, like receive and pass. So what's the basic technique? And they have to teach them basic technique, receiving, passing, shooting, but I'm not saying heading. So absolutely is wrong when we work them, because we want them to play on the floor. So kicking, heading, when they under 12 is wrong. This is in my opinion. I'm not gonna teach my players to head the ball, but because they physically they are not strong enough. Even they hit their head to hit the ball by head. And gradually, when they're passing 12 years old, we're gonna start with them about tactic and physics, and slowly, when they grow up, we're gonna work with them psychologically.
So you pointed the psychological aspect. And what's the action of academies for psychological programs for players?
So the soccer, we said football is not everything. So the academy, they concern about the outside the clubs. So that's they work with them for they make them ready, because they're gonna join the society. They have to be a useful person for the society and the community. So it's not all about football. Football is part of their life. As we know, it's not all the soccer academy, they know it's maybe a few of these football players who join the soccer academy, they're going to be professional football player in the future. But most of them, they're going to join the society. So they work with them, psychology, to make them ready. To have a new life. Maybe they're going to be football player, maybe they're not going to be football players.
So these are the psychological care that academies do for players.
Of course, they teach them how to respect. As we see now, is respect, even it's come like a law in the Premier League. So respect to the fans, to spectators, to the opponent, to the coach, to the parents. So they teach them how to respect, how to deal with anti-racists. That is very important because the soccer academy working with the young players.
So they educate the players to be a good social member in future.
Of course, yeah,
at first.
that's the main thing. That's the main thing. And as we said, when they are younger, the coaches shouldn't make the result for them important. So they only concentrate about teaching them. So they are there, they join the soccer academy to learn the skill, all skill about the football.
So one other question from last session, what's the process of recognition players specific post?
As we said, that's absolutely wrong to choose the specific position for the young player when they are under 15. So we have, as a coach, we have to let them to try every single position of the football game, because in this age we try to make a training session all about small side game. We're not going to play 11v11, so they have to try every single position, and they have to get in that situation. So when they pass the 15 years old, and gradually we're going to choose for them specific position. It's depend on their physique, their body, their mental, and then how they are good, and they speak as well.
So the other question is what sort of competitions that our grassroots participate, and the main question is what's the main focus of these competitions on?
As we said, like, you know, the foundation phase, because they are not professional, they are just only part-time. They most training in the weekend and evening time, and the most competition or tournament or festival take place in the summertime when the kids they finish with the school, and sometimes the 3 or 4 clubs they join that competition just only about fun and enjoyment, and get to know the atmosphere, and they're gonna have new friends. All about that. It's not about the result.
So thank you. The last question from last session is what is the most major change in attitudes about grassroots these past few years?
There is no most change, because every grassroots they got their own rule and regulation. So what is the grassroots mean? The grassroots when the kids and when the player training and play for not getting paid. So they're not gonna pay. So they have to learn the basic knowledge or basic skill about the soccer, that grassroots. And then we have to divide them to many groups. So as we said, the foundation phase, they got their own rule and regulation. The youth, when they between 12 and 16, and the professional when they pass 16. So even the professional, they got 3 different categories. So each club, some big club, they got the category 1, category 2, and category. What's the category mean? Because they got A team, B team, and some club they got C team. Some of them, if they are good enough, and then when they pass 16, they're gonna have a sign with the contract sign with the clubs. If they are not good enough, they join the sport development. The second is under the professional, which is just even they pay, even the family, their parents, they pay for sport development.
So these were the summary of what we have been discussed last session, and this session we're going to deal with a very important issue in grassroots range. It's about the coaches. No matter whatever is the policy of academies, there's another important factor in this process that without it, it wouldn't be any fine outcome. Without coaches, no matter if the best policy and the best programming issues had been done. Now I'm going to ask you, Mr. Omidi, about the coach's role in preparing players for future in football field.
Coaching in soccer academy is all about loving to development the kids, young players, no matter the rule and state of the coach, all about loving. So it's absolutely different when you are working with the academy, soccer academy as a coach. It's absolutely different when you're working with adult. So as we said, we are them because of the kids, and that's young players. They give us most valuable thing, which is their time. So me as a coach, I have to have a commitment about the time the young players they give us. So I have to put attention when I teaching them. So as we said, it's very important to think why I'm there, why are they. As a coach, I'm not their boss. I have to be friend with them and guide them to have a nice future, even personally or physically, psychology, socially. So I have to remember that. So their parents give their kids to us. They are very concerned about their kids' life in the future. So it's very important to pay attention on their personality. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. How are the coaches educated to do these kind of things you told us correctly in the best possible way?
So most of thing is about the psychology. You see each two kids not same, but when they pass in the 18 years old or 20, they become adult. They know about the future. They know are the professional football player. But the kids, they don't know what they are there. They only want to have a fun, learn, and enjoy their time. So we deal with their parents. We treat the young players, but we don't deal with them. We deal with their parents. So we are very important. They take us as a role models. You know, the kids, they pay attention on their coach and their teacher more than their parents. So that's very important. So we have to be a good role model for them.
Exactly. So you have to get special education, psychological educations, and courses. Would you mind please telling us more about these courses and the sources of this course?
Yes, of course, because you have to pass the safeguarding children is very important. So you have the police, they check your CRB check. So many parents, they scare, some coaches abuse their kids mentally and physically, which has happened to many countries. So it's very important. So you have to pass different education to work with the young players.
Mr. Omidi, you told us about having commitments with players. Exactly, to attract the players to football and make playing football attractive for them, and exactly how do you do these kind of things? What? Okay.
When I say commitment about the certificate, football coaching certificate we have, that's the commitment. So as a coach, I have to commitment about to improve the technically, tactically, personally, or psychology. That is very important. So I'm there. I don't think about the getting paid. It's not about to make money. You know, the soccer academy, the money they spend, is not about to purchase. So they are not there, they want to purchase, so they have to develop the kids. The money they spend for development is not for purchase talented players. That is very
So,
important.
yes, of course. And Mr. Omidi, uh, uh, how could a coach get to this level that you told us? What's the role of this?
What do you mean? They get a football coaching certificate?
Yes.
So we have to start from the basic like I don't know if they call it D license or basic. You have to join the federation of your country, and then gradually you get the C, and then you have to pass a different course if you want to work with the soccer academy.
And you do have courses with psychologists or not?
Yes, of course, because each age of the kids they are different. Under 8 absolutely different with the kids under 10. Under 10 is different with under 12 because they are grow up in different family. Some big family like 5, 6 brothers or sister, and some like very small family, only one kids. You know, that's gonna affect their personality and affect the way they play in the soccer academy. So you are, as a coach, must be intelligent to deal with different situations, because each kids may got their own problems. So you have to deal with them. So you are, as a coach, as we said, the kids, the players, as a one part of the chain, you have to fix that chain as a coach. Get them together and fix that chain. But when you're working with adult or when they pass into that is absolutely different. That is easy to work with them. It's very hard to work with the kids, young players, and rather to play with the adult or the professional clubs.
Sure. Mr. Omidi, as a professional coach in grassroots range, do you see yourself responsible for your players' behavior outside the fields?
That's of course, because as we said, the most soccer academy they care about their football player when they are outside their soccer academy. Even they have a contact with their education school. So as we said, we have to talk about the education, how the kids they go to a school, because if they are training football or playing football, is that going to affect their education? Because the family, the parents, they are very concerned about their kids' education. So the soccer academy is very important for them. So what they're doing when they're outside the football academy.
So, dear viewers and members, I'm looking for your questions. If you have any questions from Mr. Omidi, just let us know. And Mr. Omidi, you have almost 5 minutes. If there is anything left you want to say about your career and anything else, the tribune is yours now.
Yeah, as we said, so most coaches I see, they see like a CV or they check in Instagram, they see too many different training sessions and they copy that and they want work with that with their players, which is absolutely wrong. So we are, as a coach, must be creative. We have to create our own training plan session. It depends on our players, how good they are, how weak they are, how strong they are. So all about working. I say more than 90% when we're working with the kids about their weakness, only less than 10% about performance. So when we like have a friendly game or even formal game, so we have to let our players to make a mistake. If they don't make a mistake, how can I work with them? So they will learn from their mistake. So, and then we design the training session to improve them, working on their weakness. This one subject. Another thing, the football, or I said, two things to contend with or without, with the ball or without the ball. How do we work with our players when we have the ball, when we don't have the ball? So you forget to ask about the scouters, how the scouters choose the talent players. How the scouters choose the talent is very, very important. As we said, when the players under 13, the scouters, they got to choose them. So they check their technical ability, tactical ability, physical, and temperament, which is very important. So many scouters, they don't look at the temperament, which is, in my opinion, is very important. Technically, we got many young players. They are trick. They are good in freestyle. They are good juggling. So the scouters not gonna look at these kind of things. So they look at them when the players they head up, which is without the ball. Well, I'm talking about it without the ball. What we have to teach our players when we don't have the ball. So when we don't have the ball, so we have to have do something. The first thing, so we have to create space. We have to have a good balance of our body. We have to check around. Yeah. So what we need to do these things. So all about head ups. The scouters looking the players when they receiving, when they passing, when they moving with the ball, when their heads is up. That's one of the most important thing that the scouter looking at. And the tactical ability. So the players he's playing, so the scouter looking, is he good at creating space? Is he game reading? Game reading is good. Is he when he give the first pass? So what he's gonna do? The scouters looking for that. They are not looking at the players with the ball all the time. Sometimes they look at the players without the ball. Physically, as you know, many years ago, the coaches, they choose one tall forward and one skinny, thin winger. But that time is gone. So it doesn't matter how tall you are, how big you are. So are you good in standing on your toes? How you good when you have a reaction? How you good to accelerate? That's the most thing the scouts are looking at. And temperament, which is very important. We got many good players. They can do everything in the game, but they can't control themselves. When they are nervous, they can't control their stress. This is a negative for the players. The scouters looking for the players when they are under pressure, when they are under stress, when they are nervous. Are they can make a good decision? That is very important. And then the other thing in physics is speed. Speed very important to choose the talent players.
Sure. So